These are things that, while technically unnecessary, I still love. Things that you don't need in a skincare routine, but kind of like an Apple Watch. Like, it's not a necessity, it's kind of a luxury, but it does make life a hell of a lot easier or funner or more softer and hydrated, depending on what you're applying. And these are the skincare products that if you're trying to save money, you don't need to spend it on these. You've heard experts, dermatologists, and me say it thousands of times. Really, the only things you need in a skincare routine are a good cleanser and an SPF. But there are definitely some products that are less useful and more frivolous than others, let's put it that way. But if skincare is self-care, you use them. So let's talk about them. Let's expose the unnecessary pieces of our routines. Let's just hang them out to dry for everything they are. The first, you've probably heard it before, but toners and essences are technically not a necessity. In the past, when skincare was a lot less advanced, we had cleansers that were super alkaline, and so we needed toners that were a little bit more acidic to bring our skin back into balance, because our skin naturally likes to hang out at about a 4 or a 5 on the pH scale. But now that we have more gentle cleansers that don't strip, toners are not a necessity. Now, do I love toners and essences for their added hydration, increased penetration of products, maybe some exfoliation, antioxidants? Yes, I do. I think toners are amazing, and it wasn't until like a year or 2 years ago that I discovered essences, and God, I love them. But if you're trying to save money, you don't need to spend a ton on a good toner. They do help to tone the skin, and I mean, if you're using like archaic, bar soap, then yes, you should be investing more in a toner, but instead of spending extra money on a toner with your bar soap, I would just recommend getting a cleanser that doesn't strip your face like a bar soap does. Now, this one kills me, and some people will argue with me, and good, but serums. I love serums, but technically they are not super necessary in a routine. I love serums because they're kind of like targeted, more absorbent moisturizers. You can really find serums that penetrate deep and do their work well, but in a very basic skincare routine, do you need them? No, a moisturizer is going to be more important, and definitely a sunscreen. Now, serums are kind of on that line of are they unnecessary or are they not, because it really depends on the formula. But if you're looking for a good vitamin C, if you're looking for tranexamic acid, if you are looking for some acne fighting ingredients like salicylic that penetrate deep or an exfoliant, you're gonna find it in a serum. I do consider serums to be more efficacious and more necessary than toners, but technically if you did want to leave these out of a routine because you are a student or you're super budget strapped, these would be two that you could pass on. Now, this kills me to say because I abso-freaking-lutely love these, but I'm your acne big sister and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. Sleep masks are not technically a necessity. I know, there's the Glow Recipe sleep mask, there's the Pacifica Wake Up Beautiful sleep mask. Like, I love these things, but really what they are extended overnight moisturizers. And if you want to call them a sleep mask, do it. Again, my skin loves them, and I do wake up feeling absolutely brand new and refreshed. They have targeted actives that penetrate deep, but if you wanted to, you could just find a really occlusive moisturizer and sleep with it, because that's basically what it is. And if you wanted to take that even a step further, technically face masks aren't even necessary, but that just kills me to say because face masks are probably my favorite step in a routine. A face mask forces you to take time for you. They are fun to Instagram or take photos of or just look at yourself in the mirror, and like they force you to kind of sit down and relax. Like if you have like a face mask on, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to like cook dinner, right? And I'm not just talking about sheet masks. I generally tend to prefer like the actual face mask ones, but if you wanted to skip those in a routine, you could. And the Ordinary's AHA BHA peeling solution is technically marketed as a mask, and if I had to live without that, I would be a very, very sad, sorry person. Now, one thing that I would not be sad or sorry if it just disappeared, and it's because I find it completely unnecessary, that I don't actually love, but there are some that I agree with, are eye creams. If you look at most eye creams, they have the exact same ingredients, a lot of the same basics, and even the same actives as regular moisturizers. Marketers and stores and brands sell these to us by saying, oh, the under eye skin is thin and delicate and it doesn't have pores. It does have pores, and literally eyelid cancer is a thing. You do have pores and glands in the eye area. The skin there is thinner, so if you want a different feel, you can get one, but hot damn, we have said it as many times as the white goose has said, Affleck, that eye creams are overpriced Overpriced moisturizers. You don't need them, and if you're trying to save money, please just use your moisturizer in the eye area. As always, don't get it in the conjunctiva. If you're using heavily fragranced or high actives, obviously don't get it inside of your eyes, but please don't think that you need to spend like $100 on a little tiny tube of something this big that is almost identical to the moisturizer that the exact same brand sells. No one else is telling you, so I'm gonna, okay? Beauty oils. You guys, I love a good skincare oil, but honestly, my beYoutiful butterflies, skincare oils are not a necessity. They do help lock things in. There are certain oils that have other antioxidants or ingredients or even vitamins such as D or A or retinols, suspended in them. But is a skincare or beauty oil absolutely necessary? No. If you really wanted to, like jojoba oil is one of my favorites. I get mine from Trader Joe's. It's inexpensive. My skin freaking loves it. And you know what? It's not some flower infused stuff that I have to spend $1 million on. And this also pains me, but my favorite little pimple popping beauty pie like twists off. There are these little capsules of skincare that while I freaking love them and they're biodegradable and they're safe for the environment and in glass packaging, they're not completely necessary. If you wanted to get your serum or your toner or your moisturizer inside of a pump, you could totally do that. But these little capsules are so travel friendly. They help me quench my pimple popping tendencies. And for me, these are necessities so that I don't pick at my skin. I pick at the little capsules, okay? But for most people, these capsules are not a necessity. Now, if you're going for a serum or if you're going for, a nice targeted moisturizer anyways, you might as well buy them in the capsule form if you enjoy that experience. But again, all you really need is a cleanser and a sunscreen, so it's not the most important. Then we also have to talk about tools. And this pains me because I love a lot of different tools. The first one is probably obvious and gets a lot of hate on the internet, but I don't actually hate them. And I use one and it's a skincare fridge. And you know what I did? I bought the Pillow Talk Derm Dr. Shireen Idris's skincare fridge because it's a rainbow and it's Dr. Idris and I freaking love her. And yes, her skincare fridge is amazing, but is it a necessity? Absolutely not. Is it a waste of money? Absolutely, but am I happy about it? Yeah. For me, using tons of products, playing around and trying new things, I don't always have the chance to go through an entire bottle and scrape out the inside before I switch to a new one, which means I'm often donating a lot of products to the friends in my life, the people, my family is saturated with skincare and my mom doesn't even use good skincare. All she uses is sunscreen. Really, bro? We gotta get her on some vitamin C. But she rides motorcycles and has never had a manicure. My friends and family are pretty saturated, so yes, there are even some beautiful butterflies or potato wives in our Discord and Patreon that I have been able to shuffle a few products over to if they've been lightly swatched, but in general, I don't have the chance to use up all of my products, and because of that, I don't want them to go bad. And if you look at your products, there are these little things on the back that show once it's opened how long they're good for. So for instance, 6 months, 12 months, year and a half or so, and once you start opening that, the preservatives in that product start to break down, and the manufacturer only guarantees its safety or efficacy for that amount of time. So yes, I do put my more susceptible products or my products with less preservatives in the fridge to preserve them. Now, could you put them in a regular fridge along with your food and your snacks and your vegan cream cheese and your bagels? Of course you could. For me, I don't like walking, the kitchen is very far away from the bathroom that I do my skincare in, so I don't like to walk all the way over and all the way back. But a skincare fridge is definitely not a necessity and it is a luxury. But yes, I use one and I put my face masks and my patches in it and it keeps my products from going bad, and then it's a nice cooling sensation when I apply them to my face, and that makes me happy. Also the fact that it's Dr. Shireen Idris and it's a rainbow. And while we're talking about that, we also have to go into facial steamers. Now I know that facial steamers are used quite often in aesthetics, and call me a little bit different because I don't love facial steamers. I love the way they make me feel. But for a lot of people, facial steamers can actually exacerbate dryness or cause transepidermal water loss. And if you're oily, a little bit of facial steam could be good, but on dry skin, you really do want to limit it. And it's kind of like against traditional aesthetic training that I say that, but that's just personally how I like to operate, and the derms that I've worked with have guided and advised me, because we don't want to cause damage to skin, especially for people who already have pre-existing skin conditions, right? Obviously you don't want to burn the face, and steam that is not uber hot is better, but most of the at-home facial steamers are not things that you want to spend a ton of money on. And if you enjoy the experience, that's one thing, but you shouldn't be forking out tons of money for these facial steamers. I do have a facial steamer at home and I do like to use it, and the one that I have actually blows water vapor up so that you don't get any of those little specks like like these hot drops of water that could actually hurt the skin. But mine is also not just steam, but water vapor. So I can actually do like a cold steam on my face, which could be slightly better than a hot steam for some people. So if you're going to do a facial steamer at home, please get the cold steam. The Aria one is one that I love from Vanity Planet. There are tons out there though. Get the one that's best for you if you want one. But just know that facial steaming is not a necessity, and someone who's sitting here selling you a $500 facial steamer in an Instagram ad, that's not it. Buyer beware, you don't need it. But if you enjoy it, be my guest. And in that vein, there are tons of different facial devices out there. You know that I love the NuFace, there's the Foreo, there are these wands and scratchers and pokers and shakers, and do any of them work? We can talk about my favorite or least favorite beauty tools and products in another video. But as for now, these are the things that are completely unnecessary, but that I really love. Kind of like those mugs that you get when you go to different Starbuckses or when you travel and you're like, I have enough mugs, I don't need another mug. And even though it's completely unnecessary, you're like, I like the mug. That's what these skincare products are to me. So remember to spend your money where you would like to, and I hope this enlightens you. Stay hydrated, reapply your SPF, and be beautiful both inside and out. I love you, beautiful butterflies, and I cannot wait to see you in this next video. Love you guys. Bye.